Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about the Othello syndrome, and this is also known as morbid jealousy. And it is a psychiatric condition that's characterized by obsessive, irrational, and delusional jealousy. People with this disorder actually believe their partner is being unfaithful, even though there is little or no evidence to support these suspicions. And it can often lead to intense emotional distress and damaging behaviors, and this can strain or destroy relationships. So, how did it start? The term comes from the Shakespeare play Othello, and there's a protagonist that becomes consumed by jealousy, and this leads to tragic consequences. So, while Othello's jealousy was based on manipulation by another character, the disorder arises from internal psychological, emotional, and sometimes neurological factors. So, potential causes, possibly neurological disorders, and it can be linked to a brain dysfunction, such as cases of Parkinson's or even Alzheimer's, and even after a stroke. So the damage to the areas of the brain responsible for emotional regulation and logical reasoning, as in the frontal lobe, can exacerbate delusional jealousy, and it can be quite dangerous. There can also be psychiatric conditions, and this can be found in association with conditions like schizophrenia, delusional disorder, or OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. Can also co-occur with substance-induced psychosis, particularly with alcohol or stimulants. Now, attachment trauma, early experiences of abandonment, betrayal, or unhealthy attachment styles can possibly contribute to a fear of infidelity or rejection. Also, the different personality traits, high levels of paranoia, insecurity, or low self-esteem can increase the susceptibility. Narcissistic or borderline traits can amplify obsessive thoughts about betrayal. Culture or societal influences, when you have cultural norms or societal pressures regarding fidelity and relationships, this can exacerbate feelings of jealousy. So, I want to give you some symptoms and some examples because Othello syndrome manifests through thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that are irrational and disruptive. The thought patterns will be irrational, persistent, intrusive, thoughts that their partner is unfaithful, justified or not. And then this deals with the delusion. So it's that they're not being, or if they are being faithful, misinterpreting benign actions of signs of cheating. So they smiled at the cashier. They must have been interested in them. They talked to the person at the gas station saying, "Excuse me," and they think that there's this big affair going on. Constantly questioning or doubting their partner's loyalty. Now, their emotional responses will be intense anger or sadness, even anxiety tied to this imagined infidelity. It'll have a cycle of obsession, despair, fueled by perceived betrayal. That fear of abandonment sometimes masks as controlling behavior. So, there are different kinds of behavioral things that you'll see. They can surveil you, monitoring their partner's phones, emails, or social media accounts, checking mileage on the car, closely tracking their whereabouts, going through phones. They'll use interrogation, repeatedly questioning their partner about their day, interactions, or even intentions, pressuring their partner to confess to the affairs that they've committed, even though they haven't. And accusations, making baseless claims of this infidelity, often escalating to hostility or aggression. And they will use isolation tactics, attempting to control who the partner interacts with. They'll discourage social activities to limit opportunities for perceived infidelity. They will have self-destructive or possibly aggressive behaviors. They can turn to alcohol or substances to cope with this jealousy. They can partake in acts of violence toward their partner, and sometimes even as others that they see as a rival. So, some real life examples. You got your jealous spouse. So, let's say a man starts to suspect that his wife is cheating because she arrives home late for work one time. And even though she explained being delayed, that she got caught in traffic, he starts showing up unannounced at her office and installs spyware on her phone to track her messages. You can have a controlling partner. So if a woman becomes convinced her boyfriend is cheating because he liked an old friend's social media post, she starts to demand he unfriends every female contact, refuses to let him attend work events, and insists on proof of his location at all times. It's like an obsession that they feel they're being cheated on, and they can be quite controlling. You'll also have somebody who might be an obsessive checker, a partner who checks their significant other's clothes for unfamiliar scents. They'll inspect receipts for signs of hidden outings, ask friends or family members to quote unquote spy on their partner during social gatherings. And it can have a profound impact on relationships and daily life. Partners often feel smothered, distrusted, accused, leading to emotional withdrawals or even breakups. In extreme cases, jealousy can escalate to abuse or violence. The person with Othello syndrome, they experience chronic anxiety, depression, or obsessive thoughts. The social life, the constant obsession, might start to lead to isolation as relationships with friends or family might start to deteriorate under the strain. Work, or even just a routine, jealousy will start to consume so much of their mental energy that daily functioning, like performing at work or their hobbies, it'll start to suffer. So it can be challenging to have Othello syndrome, and it can improve with the right interventions. Early treatment is crucial to prevent harm to the individuals, also to the relationship. You can use things like cognitive behavioral therapy, and it will help these individuals challenge these irrational beliefs and develop healthier thought patterns. It'll focus on breaking the cycle of obsession and behavior that is rooted within this jealousy. Also, couples therapy. It can encourage open communication and rebuilding the trust between the partners. A neutral therapist can mediate discussions and offer strategies to reduce this conflict. Sometimes you might need medication such as antipsychotic or antidepressants, and that'll be prescribed if delusional thinking or co-occurring conditions like depression are present. For substance-induced cases, detox and rehab might be necessary. Techniques like mindfulness, meditation can help people kind of control and deal with the obsessive thoughts and emotional reactivity. Addressing the co-occurring conditions such as schizophrenia, OCD, substance abuse. And by doing this, it can significantly improve the outcome of the symptoms. So the prognosis depends on the underlying cause and the willingness to seek help. People with mild to moderate symptoms, therapy and support can lead to a lot of improvement. But in these severe cases, long-term treatment may be necessary, but progress is still possible with persistence. So it is a distressing condition for both individuals and their loved ones. However, with a awareness, intervention, and commitment to change can make all the difference in the world. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know your thoughts and share if it'll help someone you know.